As we're sticking with the NBA, and we're about to start the second half of the NBA season tomorrow, which is really exciting. A number of great games that are going to be played. Golden State and the Clippers. We've got the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks that are going to be playing tomorrow. So I'm excited that the NBA is coming back. And so gave me an opportunity to take a step back and say, okay, which teams to me have been the most surprising teams in the NBA? What team's been the most surprising team in the NBA? Now, I know that there's an obvious choice. The New York Knicks are the obvious choice. But to me, in a weird way that I'm going to explain, they're not the biggest surprise in the NBA to me. The biggest surprise in the NBA to me so far has been the Charlotte Hornets. Right now, they're 17 and 18 in the Eastern Conference. They're the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference. But more importantly, all the other teams that are in the playoff picture in the Eastern Conference, they were either contenders in the playoffs last year, or they're a relevant and noteworthy franchise. So the 76ers, big surprise. They're the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. But they've always had that star power with Joel Embiid, that dynamic duo with Embiid and Simmons and Tobias Harris, and now with the addition of their new head coach, Doc Rivers. This was a team that already was competing last year and already had an abundance of talent coming into this year, and they've still retained that. So they've just surpassed perhaps our expectations of being a top 4 seed to the number 1 overall seed, but they've always been talented. The Brooklyn Nets have always had perhaps the most talented roster in the NBA. And that was even before they traded for James Harden, or even before they were prepared to sign Blake Griffin. So the Brooklyn Nets, sure, we may have not expected their chemistry to click right from the get-go, as it has, but there's no question, no denying the talent that's existed there. Then you look at the Bucks, the Celtics, the Miami Heat, the Toronto Raptors. These are all teams that were in the playoffs last year. Now, the Knicks are another choice. There's no question about it. They're a major surprise team, and they've been a moribund franchise for the last several years. They haven't won an NBA championship since 1973. They haven't made the postseason in over 8 seasons, but they've still been the New York Knicks, and New York is a relevant market and a relevant destination. So New York, again, whether for the right reasons or the wrong reasons, they've still remained in the news. But the Charlotte Hornets, we've never discussed the Charlotte Hornets. The only reason why we even discussed the Charlotte Hornets is because of Michael Jordan, who's the owner, who retired over 20 years ago. That's the only reason we even talk about the Charlotte Hornets. The last time we really talked about the Charlotte Hornets was during that brief stint with Kemba Walker when he first entered the league, and they made the postseason 2 times in the 2013-2014 season and the 2015 and the 2016 season. 2015 to the 2016 season. Outside of that, we've never discussed the Charlotte Hornets. Not a single time. And now we're finally getting a chance to see a Charlotte Hornets team that are young, they're fun to watch, they're exciting, they play hard, they rarely get blown out. The only game I can really think of where they got blown out was against the Utah Jazz in the middle of one of their 2 10-game winning streaks. Outside of that, this is a team that's overachieved. And really with one quality veteran in Gordon Hayward. Outside of Gordon Hayward, this is a young, maturing roster. And LaMelo Ball has been a revelation, if not starting to blossom into a star. This is a guy who not only is the front runner to win Rookie of the Year for the season, he started coming off the bench. Now he's a permanent starter. He's been averaging 16 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 45% shooting, 38% shooting from the three-point line, 80% from the free throw line. But in the month of February, 20 points a game, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, still the same 45% shooting from the floor, 41% from the three-point line for a guy who we all claimed could not shoot entering the NBA. 86% from the free throw line. This guy has taken monumental steps as this season has progressed. And right now, they're right in the thick of things. They're in the 7th seed. They're in the 7th spot right now in the Eastern Conference, and he's got the second highest PER on the team behind Gordon Hayward. Do I think they're going to make the playoffs? I'm not sure. I know that they'll be in the play-in tournament, but whether they will end up finishing as one of those top 8 teams, I'm not sure. But up to this point in the season, they've been nothing short of magical. I mean, this really is one of those stories where you just have a team kind of sprout out of nowhere and take over the league by storm. They've absolutely taken over the league by storm, and I'm extremely impressed with the Charlotte Hornets up to this point. They've been my biggest surprise team. Now,